Hi there, welcome back to Unfiltered Circle podcast, and I'm here with Sandra's brother, and she's going to talk about growing up with her brother. Isn't that right, Sandra?
Yes, he's my cousin technically,
I was gonna
but
say,
Not the brother.
was that the joke you were gonna open?
yeah,
Man, whoa, that
yeah.
was
So
a
he's
bad
my
sell on that one.
cousin technically. I didn't have any brothers; I had only a sister. But people thought he was my brother growing up when we were going to elementary school because he was always with me, and we get off the bus together. We'd walk most of the time to his house. Do you remember that walking?
When we got off the bus, we went to your place
Oh,
usually. Yeah,
went to okay,
yeah,
so
because
went
that's
to
when mom and dad and everybody went home. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and
Well,
so
what about your brothers, though? Where did they go?
I don't know where the heck. No, they were still at school. They were still trying to stay out of
Oh,
jail.
that's right.
yeah.
Elementary gets off
Yes,
first.
Yeah,
yeah, elementary got
they
off
were still
first.
trying to stay out of jail at Dowling.
At Dowling. Oh my
Yeah, I
gosh.
mean that
I
place
bet.
looked like a prison. You remember that?
Yeah, it was pretty bad. It made Zachary look like a spa.
It had like 8-foot fences and like the
Wait,
on
this
top.
is elementary school?
No,
Those
it's
middle
middle
school,
school.
Dowling.
Middle school.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's where my
middle
brothers
school.
were at. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what's wrong with Zachary, though?
Well,
Zachary's not bad.
no, it's not bad now. No, but the kids back in like
I have
after
a
the
feeling
kids.
Zachary's still bad.
No,
I'm
I
thinking
think
about John Jay area is bad.
no. When I say Zachary,
Ashton Jones over there.
Oh,
no,
Edson
it's
Jones.
the
Wow.
Zachary was giving off that prison feel. When my daughter said, when my son went there his first year, it turned Title I after that. They cleaned house. It was just a very depressing feeling when, at that middle school. But no,
You
Dowling
having
was.
flashbacks. I see some PTSD in those eyes.
Yeah,
No.
that's not my PTSD. It's the kids,
No, it
not
looks
mine.
like yours too.
I, I'm good with Zachary. They're a magnet school now, cybersecurity.
Speaking of
They
which,
gotta
you
prevent
sure
the
did
hacks from
click
their own
when you
students.
talked about you having one sister. And that nowadays your kids are supposed to be. The kids are all like shout out to Anna Ramos.
Shout out,
You
yeah,
can't-
shout out to Zachary,
Like,
cybersecurity.
there you go. Like, you know what I'm saying? You shout out to Zach, but you couldn't shout out to Anna, my cousin.
Wow.
Yeah, well, because when we were growing up, she was 7 years younger than me. She, when we were in elementary, she wasn't even in elementary.
You know what? Thank you for that. Sometimes I forgot.
Yes,
I could
thank
forget how much younger she is
you.
than us.
Hello.
Because we've been hanging out lately and everybody's getting older. And I was like, how old is Anna now?
Yes, so that's why, yes, our elementary school years, she was not there because she
Where was
wasn't
she?
born. I don't think, or
No, yeah, she
maybe born.
was. She had
She was a baby. She was
Yeah.
just
She was just a baby?
She was just a baby. Some say Oriental baby, but that's
Yeah, she had little.
That's a little Sabrina.
Did you
there,
have
too.
little Oriental eyes? Where
But
did
no,
you?
let's talk about Windsor Village a little bit.
Oh my God, Windsor Village.
Because that's where, like, man, your mom used to work there.
My mom worked at Windsor Village, and I don't know what
Talk
she
about
did.
not being able to get away with anything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was a good
You
girl.
couldn't. I mean, I could get away a little more than you could, but you were screwed.
Yeah, yeah. I
Because they'd be like,
remember.
I would tell your mama.
Well, and my mom had all of the teachers were her friends, so there was no getting away from anything. Of course, I wasn't a bad child either, so, but yeah,
You just had bad cousins.
yeah. I just had very
So this is elementary school.
elementary.
Oh,
Mhm.
wow. Your mom taught me. Your mom was working
Worked
over
She
there?
was in the
Windsor Village.
attendance office, or what was
She
she?
was something. Yeah, she was some type of clerk or something yeah, in the attendance or some registrar. I have no idea, but yeah, so she worked at Windsor Village.
Did you ever go back to the school, like, after you went to, like, middle school or high school?
I remember I did one time just to see because we had teachers there that my mom still was friends with, and so they still worked there. And so I remember I went back and remembering it was
Because,
just
like, okay, where'd you go to elementary?
I have lots of places.
Well, yeah, that's right, because y'all were moving
We
around.
moved a
around
lot, a lot.
Well, okay, but, like, any of them, did you ever go back if you went to middle school or high school?
The only one that I would think of will be Gardendale Elementary by Grandma's house.
Oh, right on, right on.
I when I went to like maybe 2 years off and on.
No, because because I remember going back. I don't know if it was in middle school or high school that I went back to Windsor Village, and it was like just remembering the way the hallways look when we were little, to when you go and you get older. It's like, how did all of us kids fit in here? Because
Yeah,
like it
it's
feels like
little.
it's like 6 foot wide, and I
Yeah.
thought it was like 20 foot wide. You know,
Uh-huh. Very small.
but I was like, man, that's crazy.
Yep. And yeah, that whole area has changed. But
Oh yeah.
where did you go to middle school?
Huh?
Where did you go to middle school?
I went to Lanier, and then I get kicked out because I had a C in French, because I lost my French book.
You
Parlez-vous
gotta see
français?
French? You were taking French?
Yes.
What the heck?
I went to a magnet
Parlez-vous
school.
français?
A little bit.
Papa français.
Oh, mon petit chou.
Tissue.
I went to Johnston. It was a music magnet school, and I remember I had to audition. Had to audition to sing, and I can't remember what else I auditioned for. I think that was it. But I played piano there, and I sang in the choir. But we went to the same high school, and that was fun. That was a whole lot of rolling being a quarterback of a professional, not so professional losing team.
Oh yeah. Well, the
Whoa,
baseball team was
professional
No,
amazing.
the
loser?
baseball team was great. It was the
The
football
football team was
team.
trash.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, our
That
freshman year, we busted out the first winning season since like freaking the 1960s in the whole freaking school. Like, it was like we beat Willowridge our
wow.
freshman year. We beat
They
Willowridge.
should be ashamed of themselves,
They
Willow
should. I was
Ridge.
gonna say they lost a card if you know what I mean, but I'm not gonna say nothing.
Our football
The
team
whole
was
team.
so bad that in the marquee, back they didn't have electric marquees back then. They had the where you put the little cards in there to slide the letters, and the joke was who has wait who scores more than the Bel Air football team, and it was Coach Knobloch. He was the
I was waiting
baseball
for something like
coach
that.
Yeah,
that messed around with some
Google that.
cheerleaders. Yeah, some cheerleaders. Yeah, so that was pretty funny.
It was
Wow.
embarrassing.
It was embarrassing, but it was funny.
I was waiting
Ooh, the
for the good
embarrassment
time.
now currently. I don't know if you heard about that they are going after Bel Air right now because they were trying to push the transitioning in some classrooms.
What
Oh, wow.
transitioning? What
The
do you
transitioning to transgender,
transgender?
which hey, to each their own, but at schools
Oh,
they
they
probably they're
were.
not, especially the governor said not to be doing that right now. So yeah, I was like, that's my
Wow.
alma mater,
Oh
but it was
I
wow.
like
can't
that's
believe that they were
crazy.
doing
Well,
that.
that and not that this is anything, but it's just a foreign language academy. They're very. It's very. They're liberal. It's a
Yeah,
liberal school, so I can see them doing that and not caring. But yeah, that's a. But then you also have those conservative people too. I don't know what the culture is now, but when we went, man, one of my really good friends was Ethiopian, and oh my God,
Thumper?
Chum Fan was one of my other friends, and
he works at the Smithsonian, I believe.
really,
Wow, you
I
still
believe
keep
so
in
because he
touch.
graduated in my class because he got bumped up.
yes, because that guy was smart.
Oh yeah, a lot of them were.
Yeah, and Rahel Gabrezalasi, she was the Ethiopian
For
friend.
the record, that was not a real last name she just said.
But this is in
I'm pretty
Houston.
sure
This
she
This
had
is
a
the
is in
stroke.
melting
Houston.
pot of
Yes,
Texas, pretty
it was a
Yes.
much.
foreign language academy, so I had all kinds. The diversity there was compared to San Antonio, that wasn't even on the same spectrum. So it was great. I know when my grandpa came from San Antonio to visit our house, I had my friends out there, and my sister had her friends or whatever. And he's like, "Oh, look at this, the United Nations." He would say that in
Yeah,
Spanish,
exactly. Was it?
and I'm like, "Oh my God." So, but when I moved over here to San Antonio, I remember that was a huge culture shock because
It was nothing but Latino.
yes, I went to homes
It
my
was just
my
one
first
shade of
time,
brown.
and I told my mom. I remember going home that day saying, "Mom, how come nobody told me this is all where all my people are? I
All my
mean,
people.
this
I,
is where all my people are." Like I didn't
I
like
I thought the motherland was Mexico. Apparently, it's San
it's San
Antonio.
Antonio. Like I couldn't believe it. Like there were so many Mexicans everywhere I looked. Like wow. And there was, a few white and there was some black
A few
people.
white.
There, more black people than white people, from what I
Real
remember.
quick on that too. Isn't it weird? Like right now, I was thinking about that. It's like nowadays you hesitate to say white and black and stuff like that
Well,
because
yeah, because
what's gonna trigger people like, oh, you shouldn't say that, and it's so weird now.
yeah,
Because speaking of which, like back in the days, we didn't think that. I mean, there was a time where like you said, United Nations stuff like that. I mean, you remember the house
yeah,
where we had all the stockings up with Anthony,
yes,
Kiwan,
yeah,
Key
all and
one.
every yeah,
yes,
he
Wow,
was
give it
Korean, and
out.
yeah, we had a bunch of different
yeah,
everybody. Like we said, it's like,
yep,
and now it's like you're like, how do I refer to this
yeah.
person, and not use the color so you get a better idea of who it is, and it's
And I
interesting.
think, a lot of it, like when I said it right now, it wasn't, disrespectful. It was
Yeah,
just
no, no,
out of,
absolutely not. Yeah,
speaking out of respect. But yes, I did. I
it's
know
not so
you
much.
kind of hesitate. I'm like, like, I was like, wait, is that okay? Is that okay? Is that okay? But yeah. So, but I mean, it was true. So, but yeah, so this is my culture shock to San Antonio, one, the education was behind, and I remember being in some
Whoa,
classes
what do you mean the
big
education was
because
behind?
I was in
The
with
education is beyond. Well, it
What?
might have just been
Whoa.
because
Are you
you and
calling
I
me
went to good
stupid?
schools too.
we
So,
did go well, I guess so. I
but
guess
even the crappy ones
I
made San
was
Antonio look pretty.
yeah,
I'm just
so
kidding.
What are you talking about? What's going on? You talking about my
yeah. Like
education
I
was
know
behind?
they were
I graduated with the what was it, level 9 education?
level 9
Grade 9. See,
They're-
it's
the,
grade
proof.
9.
It's proof.
the levels went up to 25, by the way.
I was just
I
going to say
don't know.
I'm like, oh my God.
you didn't even break double digits.
Oh,
Okay, sorry.
man.
That's what I mean. Like, how far was I behind?
I don't know how far you were behind, but
Yeah.
I know that counselors were having trouble placing me in classes initially because I was I think it was a junior. I came in mid my junior year, last of my junior year,
Mm-hmm.
and say they didn't know where to put me, and it was just a huge mess. But yeah, lots of Mexicans, and I learned very quickly that San Antonio's diversity was nil. I also learned very quickly that the culture was slim to none. Um,
The
But what was
culture
the
here?
level?
the culture, the I meant the arts, the
Oh,
cultural
okay. Okay.
arts.
Yeah. Okay.
Cultural arts was slim to
Because I said San
none.
Antonio culture is,
Yeah, no, we're culture, but the arts, the music and the arts
I
and
know I was
Were
things
we
like
really
that.
behind that too?
Yes.
well, because like I was amazed when I was able to find like a
This
poetry
in
reading,
the
and this was like
podcast.
granted it was like I mean all of
When
this.
did you move to
It
San
was like 20
Antonio?
years. Oh, I moved here
So I moved here in
1932?
89.
32,
In
32, 33.
89. So when did you move?
93
Okay, so a few years after me.
after
Okay.
I graduated.
Yeah. So, yeah, the you compared to Houston, yes, the cultural arts and it's a conservative town. It's a very much a conservative town. And Houston's very liberal. And so the only thing where I could find the culture and the arts and the music venues and things like that was the closest place was Austin.
And seeing the thing that I've noticed as of late, it's like I think that like San Antonio right now reminds me of Houston in like 86, 87.
That's pretty bad though.
You know what I mean? But it's like as far as population,
Yes.
as far as like you said,
It's
cultural, yeah,
growing.
cultural arts and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, and that is how far behind San Antonio is as far as, those
Don't
things are.
cry.
Don't
Well, it's
cry,
not a
dry
bad
your
thing.
eye.
It's
You
not.
want
I
to
don't
make me
think it's a
cry.
bad.
Like,
I
I'm
don't think it's a
behind in
bad
school.
thing.
I'm behind in culture arts.
No,
I'm behind in.
I would not move back to Houston. I
Oh
love
no,
San
absolutely not.
Antonio.
Yeah,
I love San Antonio. It
San
is a
Antonio is
big town.
growing at the
Yes.
pace that it's supposed to, and it's
Yes.
wonderful.
It's a big town with a small town mentality, and that's what I love. And my friends that don't have not lived in Houston, they're like, "Why wouldn't you? Because it's so all these economically, these businesses, blah blah blah." And I'm like, let me put it to you this way: if you trip and fall in Houston, like on a sidewalk, people would be pissed at you because you fell in front of them. They'd have to walk around you. No one would help you. You fall in San Antonio, people like running to help you get up and are you okay? Asking you. Houston, they don't give a F about you. They're pissed because you hindered their walking. So yeah, San Antonio's way nicer.
I'm like, what? I don't get it.
Like,
Oh my God. Okay, so what was a culture shock for you, Roland? Did you have a culture shock when you moved from Houston to San Antonio?
like you said, when like all the there was a lot of brown people, and it was nice. But yeah, I mean, this it was nice to see that there was just like you said, like more of our people and stuff like that. But I mean, on the other side of it, it's like when you go try to play pickup basketball, like not nearly as fun. Because I mean, it was like, come on, guys, that little change in color makes a difference in the competition, if you know what I mean.
That change in color.
Because it's like
So the guys are
back
behind
then
you?
I was like, y'all are making this real easy on me.
Shut up. He goes, so we're behind on that too.
I know that. What do we?
Oh
Wait,
my
so
God.
when I moved to Houston for like 6 years, did I get ahead? But when I came back, I went backwards.
You leveled,
No.
you evened up. So
I
you're,
evened up?
yeah.
We tried. We tried.
We tried. We tried. We tried.
Just-
But but now that you
didn't-
talk about that, like you're talking about how the brown people were here. Like when I moved to Houston, like you said, like it was like the culture was like you said. We had Indian,
Diverse.
we had of course blacks and Puerto Rican and
Pakistan,
Pakistan,
Indian,
yes, we had 'em.
Ethiopian.
and it's even there's like even like basically like excuse me like two Chinese towns. Like there's one that
Oh
used to
my
be
God,
over there
there is
by
Oh,
Bel Air,
the
right?
Jar Jar Brown, and then the other one by Sharpstown
By
too.
Sharpstown, yeah.
But because they would ask me and Dora, oh, what's your nationality is, And of course, we say American. They're like, oh no, your thing. Well,
Your
Mexican.
ethnicity.
Oh, you're not Indian or you're not whatever
Yeah,
Pakistan,
yeah.
Bangladesh or something. I'm like, no, no, I'm not.
You're like, do I look Bangladeshi?
I know. I start questioning
Yeah,
myself.
exotic.
Like,
I started
wow,
questioning.
I'm like, yeah.
Maybe I am a little Bangladeshi. I don't
Maybe
know.
I
I
am.
mean, my dad did mess around a lot, but
He did
this
go
had to be my mom
overseas.
then.
He did
Mom,
go- Mom.
oh my god.
Resisting jokes right now. Stop.
Oh my God. So what, Roland, so tell me, because I know I shared some of my favorite memories with growing up with the boys and stuff, all of our cousins. What are some of your favorite memories? Like I just had one today again about the truck. You know how they do all those TikToks about the truck about, we didn't have any seat belts and we were just on there. They were going over humps and you would, fall up. Now it's like, God forbid you put a kid behind a truck, because
Oh,
they're
it's
going to die.
Yeah, all.
Yeah, child endangerment,
exactly,
right?
yeah.
But
The
what?
helicopters following you home.
Yes. So what were your favorite like cousin moments?
Well, like not cousins, but like speaking of stuff like that. Like I remember, because my dad. I don't remember if you remember. You remember my dad's truck, the brown that used to be blue way back in the days. Well, there were times we'd come down from Houston to San Antonio in the truck, and like you said, we'd all just throw blankets in the back and lay down. But there were times where we didn't realize the weather because nowadays it's not everywhere on your phone and everything like
Yeah.
that. So there were days where we'd be driving and it would start to rain.
Oh no.
So, and without the camper, this was pre-camper days.
Yes.
So
you
I
were just
remember me and Ray
SOL.
sleeping on the floorboard and Robert and Rico in the seat with mom and dad because all six of us had to be in the bed of the into like
Oh
the pit. It's
wow.
like, so I was like, man, I remember just laying there like,
This is weird.
like this is like, I mean, this is how my forefathers got to the country.
Oh my God. So you say, now that you say that, I remember my mom and dad had a little gray Toyota Corolla.
Yeah.
And in the back seat there was a shelf where I guess where the speakers were, where the what is it, the back window would meet the little shelf. I would sleep there.
You were the one.
I
You were
would
the one that
sleep
was
there.
on TikTok.
Yeah, I would sleep there because I thought it was a bed for me. Like I thought it was perfect for me, and that's where I would sleep. Can you
Man,
imagine?
your mom and dad ran that car literally till you could see. Remember seeing out the bottom of the floorboard?
Yeah.
You could see the street when you were driving. Like, this doesn't seem safe. I was like, I was like, can you put me in the back of the truck with no seatbelts? Because I feel safer back
I actually had a friend. He played football. He was the center for our varsity team at Holmes, and he had a truck, that one that you shifted like this, it wasn't a clutch
the
one.
three on the tree.
Yeah, you shifted on the thingy right here like that, right? And so I remember his truck. I had to sit really close to him and then get hit in the boob or the chest when he did that, or sit
Classic.
close to the
That's
other
what he
friend of
told you.
mine. The other friend of mine, because there was a hole
The
in the
only way to alleviate
floorboard.
it is to sit really
No,
close
'cause
to
It
there
was
it.
was
really automatic.
There was a hole in the floorboard.
It's a lot more comfortable with your shirt off.
No, there was
What
a
the
hole
hell
in the
kind of bullshit
floorboard.
is
There was a hole in the
Sandra's
floorboard.
like, that's a great idea. I want to be safe.
Whatever I could do to help.
No. Miguel
Safety first.
Menjades, that was you, Miguel, and Gibby. I had to sit next to Gibby because I didn't want to get hit in the chest, and I didn't want to get all the splashback or anything from the
They had
from
a
the floorboard.
scoreboard going like, I hit her boob twice. What'd you get? 3 times,
No,
brother.
that was funny. We had a good time.
I bet
It was
they
fun.
did.
No, we all had.
little high school elbow chop.
See, no.
Did you ring the bell?
She's having flashbacks now. Like, I don't know.
I'm like, what?
Was that they were doing?
No.
That elbow did linger.
I had never seen a truck that you did like that with the.
Yeah, I haven't seen one either.
Theo Gilbert used to have one.
Did he?
Yeah, the orange one.
Oh.
The orange one did have it, if I
Interesting.
remember correctly. Yeah.
No, but no, I don't no. That was all good fun, whatever. Anyway.
Wow. Okay, but I remember something you were saying was that your dolls hairs were cut.
Oh yeah.
You all threw them in Barbie cars, rolled them down, and threw darts
First
at
of
them.
all, it wasn't a y'all thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay.
It
The
wasn't a
Reese?
y'all thing. It was the Reese's would
And
come
it wasn't
over.
a car- well, there was a car. There was a Corvette.
It would no, but there was the
But you had
long
the- yeah,
travel trailer
the
one.
trailer, but
You
had the
would roll
Corvette
it
too.
down the hall and throw darts at it.
No, in the garage.
Okay, well,
Y'all had that
It
brown.
wasn't the hall, it was a garage.
Y'all had that brown carpet, and then that thing would not have rolled. We'd have really Barbie up because she'd have been.
Barbie had divots.
She'd have been
Barbie had divots.
She grew up on the wrong side of town.
Barbie had divots, and also
She had street cred with all them bullet holes.
with her
All right.
yes.
Dark holes.
See? And oh my God, yeah. So anything I didn't hide was subject for, either
Abuse.
destruction, yeah,
Yes, of some sort.
abuse. It could be blown up, could be things thrown at it. I don't know. What was your favorite thing to play with, or to like see if you
Or
could,
Well,
or to destroy
or to
there was
destroy?
from
lots of
Sandra's.
stuff.
It was lots of
There
stuff.
was lots of stuff, and some of it we were like, oh, there you go, that fell apart.
That fell apart.
Whoop, a one and done.
With fireworks, it just comes off easily.
We didn't realize we were that bad, but we kind of did.
Yeah, and so he would tell, because I would say, yeah, the Reese's. They would tell me the Reese's are coming over. I would shove shit under my bed, like the light bright. I'm like, there's too many pegs.
Well, Sandra, you had all the cool toys and shit though. Especially, yeah, because and then you were just, you had all the video games. Remember the little Pac-Man and
Yes,
Donkey Kong, the little
yes,
personal ones?
the little
Yeah.
small ones.
She's all, I had them.
Yes, I had.
Until you guys came over and just ruined everything.
It was funny. Like it was. I look back and I'm like, yeah, that was probably, whatever. I would get pissed or whatever. But looking back, I'm like, that's just like rite of passage. Like, I didn't have any brothers. These were my brothers. That's what brothers do. The boys destroy things.
Well, the cool thing about it is, like, and I tell a lot of people about stuff like that it's like, when you go through moments like that when you're younger and stuff like that, had those moments never happened, we'd have been like, oh yeah, we had a great relationship. We'd go to their house, they'd come to our house.
Yeah.
Everything was fun.
Yeah.
But instead, we're like, these motherfuckers used to destroy all my damn toys. I
The
freaking
Reese's are
hated them.
coming. The Reese's
Exactly.
are coming.
It was like, we were like ice nowadays. Váyanse, córranse, ahí vienen los Reese's. Because, like, they'll think we can deport you. Like,
Yep.
I was going to deport Barbie. Like, just hide her. Hide
Hide
her under
Barbie.
the house.
Oh my God, yeah, amputee Barbie, because she didn't have any legs.
Amputee Barbie.
She didn't have any legs. She didn't have any arms. Quadriplegic. She had to be on a car now. But
In our defense, we beat the crap out of all my He-Man, too.
yeah, yes, I do remember.
Because we mixed, and once we figured out them arms popped off and popped back in, He-Man had like blue arms and
Oh, you
green,
had to
like,
change them.
yeah, and we'd like swap them out, like change their heads. Like, it's like, because at some point, like 6 of them were all picked up.
Yeah.
So we'd like, hey, if we take all the parts, we can make one whole human again,
Do
And he's
you-
got all the powers.
Do you have any memories of being in San Antonio with all of our cousins, like at the Amarys, and just like being at the celebrations, whether it be Christmas Eve or Thanksgiving, and there is a very distinctive memory that I have of the video camera, the one that you put on the shoulder with the VHS. I don't know if it was Renee or somebody had.
We
a
made
video.
a movie.
We made a movie. Do you remember that?
I don't remember what it's about, but I remember like we thought we were cool.
We were
man.
outside, inside the Amir's house, outside in the backyard, inside the front yard. Like it was everywhere. I remember that, and I remember
It must have been Renez.
it had to be. Yeah.
He was the only one who had that like V8
Uh-huh.
recorder kind of money
Yes.
back then.
Yes. Yeah, because he was the only child too. So
Yeah.
he was the only one that was an only child. And so yes, so I
Man, I
remember
wonder where
making
that's
the
at.
movie. I know. It
That
has-
movie.
It's on VHS, and I remember.
It's probably on Tubi.
We got royalty checks we don't even know about. Here's your 22 cents from
And
the last
Your
40
royalties.
years.
22 cents.
For the last 40 years.
But I remember like going into the night, like doing the movie stuff, staying up all night. And then I remember, I don't know if it was that time or if it was another time, but we were sleeping in one of the bedrooms, and there was like 4 of us, like on one bed, or 5 of us, and we're all crashed out. Like we would just fall asleep wherever it was. Like me, you, Eddie, and whomever. I can't even remember, but I just remember someone saying, "Look, they're all sleeping the same," because we had one arm over our head, and we're all sleeping the
Well,
same.
when we talk about the fact that it's like, especially at the Amarys, if I'm correct, where we slept like in a fan kind of shape.
Yeah.
Because the oscillating fan would turn and everybody had to get their little shot. So we'd
You
all
had to get
sleep.
to make sure you got
We
that.
slept in like a semicircle around it so everybody got a little piece of the action.
Wow.
And then let's talk about George.
I was just going to say George.
Are we really going to go there?
Yes, we gotta go there. So, do you remember saying Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary in the restroom?
I thought we weren't allowed to, especially in that house, because that's just pushing our.
Because there really was a
Well-
George in that house.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you were part of that, but I remember being a part of that.
Oh yeah.
So, and I was just like, we would say it, and I don't know, somebody would flick on
And
and
you'd
off the
run down-
lights, and
you-
we'd run like hell through the kitchen because George,
Didn't go to the auditions.
Thank you, George did not go to the add-on, so you were safe. It was like a home base. So I lived there my senior year because I went to high school there. Then I would go on the weekends to my parents' house in Castroville because I wasn't going to go to the high school behind the cornfields when I moved from Houston.
But why don't you explain who George was?
Well, he apparently was a teenager. I don't know. Apparently, did he kill himself, hang himself in one
The,
in
the
the
stories that
back?
I heard were, yeah, he accidentally hung himself. I don't know.
I don't know if you can accidentally hang yourself, but he
I
committed
don't know.
suicide.
Did he?
I
Okay.
think so.
I
Yeah,
think he was
this
a
specific.
teenager, and it was in the not Meme's room. It was in Gibby's room. No,
I thought it was more in the
Eddie's.
living room. No,
No, he was in one of the
I
rooms.
thought it was the farthest room out.
Yeah, the
no,
furthest
that
room
was
out.
Manuel's room.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
Gibby's room
Manuel's
was the
room.
middle one, yeah.
Oh, I stayed in Gibby's room. Okay, so yeah, that room. So yes, but so when I was there by myself in the den, which was the add-on, I would hear frequently. This is no joke. I would hear frequently like dishes or pans falling. And so there was a long hallway to the kitchen from the add-on. So I'd look down the hall. I didn't see nothing on the floor, and I'm like, okay, cool. And then if I had to go to the restroom, I'd run down the
Run.
hall to the restroom, go to the
I know,
restroom, and
I'd pee
run
outside.
back.
I'd
Yeah,
pee
outside.
outside.
I ain't going in there. No,
Especially when I was younger. Nope. He ain't gonna. Nah, no
And then
George looking at my wiener.
didn't Grandma say because Tia Mary had all those flamenco,
The big, yeah, that red dress. Who had that? Grandma had the one. With
Grandma
the big,
had that.
grandma,
Yeah,
but
that was
she
cool.
had
Yeah.
other dolls from like Spain and stuff in the front room, and Grandma said that I don't know if she was dreaming or whatever, but she said that the dolls were coming alive or something, and I'm like, oh my
Well,
god.
in defense of my grandma and my parents, we all drink a lot. They
I
all used
know,
to
I
drink
was
a
saying,
lot.
could've been drunk.
Now that I think back,
Because remember we talked about that, like we let our kids down because we didn't drink in front of our kids nearly as much as our
and we would
parents
tell
did.
them stories or lies or
I know,
anything.
man.
No lies.
I didn't
Well,
get a chance to
yes.
drive my kids home like drunk and all over the road like my dad did. I mean, I deprived
So we
them of a
never
lot of
done
good
that.
stuff.
Oh, yes, I have memories of my dad and my mom. Yeah, like my mom's like, Joe, Joe Ramos, and I'm in the back of the Malibu, just like sliding
What's
back
going
and
on,
forth.
Joe?
Man, your dad had two sweet ass Malibus, man. Oh,
Yep. So, but yeah,
and you
so
ruined it. You and your sister had to come around.
Ruined the
pardon
Malibu.
Let me
me.
get this damn Toyota.
Pardon me. If anybody is going to be blamed for that, it's Anna because she came later. I was perfectly fine in the back seat by myself. So
I can still smell the way that the Datsun smell when y'all got it. The
The
interior when
Datsuns?
y'all first got it, the little gray one. I thought that was a cool little, because that kind of car is zipped.
yeah.
You drive the Malibu, but that car you zipped around, zip, 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 zip,
But yeah, that
like an
was pretty
overgrown
fun.
golf cart.
Yeah, and then also the fireworks in the back at Thea Mary's house, like blowing up stuff.
Man, I remember Tia Concha like terrorizing us with firecrackers in her hand, like, she's
Yeah.
like, here, look, pa, like you're gonna die,
You're gonna die.
like you're gonna die from hand explosion
Yes.
if that's a thing.
And to this day, you mentioned Tia Concha. Tia Concha and Tia Billy, they were our grandma's sisters. And so every year they would do these cascarones, sell cascarones from their house. So all the holidays, especially Christmas, you hear grandma, save the tissue paper, save the tissue
Yes,
paper.
that's true.
At
Yes.
every holiday, every gift, everything, save the tissue paper for your tias. To this day, I'm sitting there folding out the tissue paper and I'm folding it and I'm like, just throw it away. But I'm there in honor of my tias, laying it all out. I'm like, Tia, this would be for you. And then I throw it away. But
And then like, here, that's what I think about you.
because yes, we were cussed at if we did throw it away, because they had to retrieve it from the trash can.
Trash, yes.
Yeah, so we would. Yeah, we
And you had
learned
to take
very.
all the beer cans off.
Yes,
of it.
we learned very early.
You know how much beer we spilled? We spilt all over that because of you. Wait a minute, what?
Yeah. Any other cool like all cousins memories? Like I know we had.
Like when you're talking about George, I remember one time we went to Thea Mary's house, obviously, and we had all gone outside and we're playing football. And it was like summer because obviously everybody's out of school. So we came down here. We're playing football in the streets. And it's at night because that way it's not and just playing street light ball.
Yeah.
So we go in. Of course, it's freaking summer. So it's still like 95 at night. So we're all just, so we all just kind of throw ourselves in the living room. And we're all just sitting there like, oh my God, it's still so hot, man. It's like, and the ceiling fan's on, and we're all just like thrown on all the couches and on the floor. It's like even the light is making us hot, and then the light turns off. Oh, we all just hauled ass out of the room. Like, nah.
Gotta go.
In the front living room?
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
my God.
like all of a sudden the light just turned off.
He's
Like,
like, he was trying to help y'all
he was
because
like,
he felt
here,
for y'all.
I don't want you to be hot.
Hell no.
See, that's what I was saying about the living room, because that's where I always either sensed or saw things that would happen in the living room.
A lot of people talked about the living rooms. Well, I was also okay. So also another thing that happened to me, it was my senior year, and I was in Gibby's room, I guess, in the front, and it was carpeted in the hallway, thick carpet, and then you walk into the room, and it's hardwood, and so the door would slide on the wood to you have to push it closed or pull it open, and there was a sliding streaks,
Yes.
right? Sliding marks on the wood floor where you pull and push the door. During that time, I had my own phone line, right? So I'm on the phone with my friend Renee, my friend Renee from high school, and we have the window open, and we're listening to the radio, whatever. And I don't know, all of a sudden the door just closed, and I was like, and we had the window open, and Renee's like, surely it's the wind. I'm like, no. You see that sliding mark on the floor? You have to push and pull that door. We just stayed there staring at the door for a good 5 minutes to see if it would pop
I'm
open.
surprised you
You're-
didn't jump out the window.
I was gonna say your survival instincts suck. I would have taken, like I said, when that
No.
light turned off, we all shoot.
No.
Sandra's like, why is that turning off right
No,
now?
because obviously
Because you were trapped.
he wanted the door closed. He didn't want me to go outside. If he wanted me to go out, he would have opened the door more. I would have walked out, but he closed the door. So there was something going on in that hallway.
Was there a
I wasn't-
window in there?
No, there was a window in the room.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
would have jumped out of
Like
that
some-
window.
yeah, like freaking TJ Hooker style. Whoosh.
man, no.
Unnecessary
that was
action hero.
okay.
That would have been me.
No,
and then your friends inside, what's going on?
I know. I'm like, Renee, you're on your own, Renee.
Exactly.
Say hi to George. Who's George?
Who's George?
What's going on here? Is he cute?
Is he?
Is he cute?
Does he go to school with us?
I would always hear pans or things fall in the kitchen all the time.
Pans. You said pans.
Pans.
It sounded like pants.
Oh,
You can hear
not-
pants fall.
not-
What?
George dropping his jaw like, hey, you can't see me, but I'm mooning you.
Oh my God! Can you imagine that?
No,
I don't
I
see
cannot.
nothing. But...
That's just one beer too, James. You didn't even get me started yet.
Don't worry, I'm always behind.
What, you're behind?
It's funny how James Michael
I
knew
don't
that I was
get it.
talking to him and you didn't.
Ah,
Yeah, he was behind. See?
yeah.
Sorry,
What?
he looked at me. He's talking to me.
I'm here. Oh man. But anyway, any other cool cousin stories in San Antonio that you can remember? We were talking about Easter, how we did all the Easters and
Do you remember the softball game?
Oh man,
At
I
Kelly?
think our parents were really upset when we could finally beat them
yeah. Oh,
because they used to handle us, man. Especially like your mom and dad and Theo
Those were the
Frankie, because they
pros.
used to play they would play softball like religiously.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we finally started playing them back, they were like, "This is bullshit."
Yep. All you guys were all big and strong and very athletic also, and
I was always way at the field, way back as far as y'all.
Right.
Behind the fence, y'all would put me there all the time.
James looking at
Just get the
plants.
balls, they come out here.
He's looking at shrubs. This is a pittosporum. This is a beautiful plant.
it's a beautiful plant. That's where I learned about shrubberies
I'm
and
like,
flowering plants.
40 years later, James' first book about shrubberies.
I know, and then
Picture him like this.
and I'll get up and everybody's gone. I'm like, where did
Where
everybody
did we
go?
go? With the tube socks though, and the coach's shorts. Remember the tube socks, coach's shorts,
But who wore the coach's shorts better, Theo Gilbert or Grandpa?
or my dad?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, your dad would do that.
Yeah.
And Meme and Gibby too.
Oh yeah, they would wear coach's
Yeah.
shorts with the tube
I
socks
never got down with that way, I don't think.
I want some, but I can't find them.
for a
Well,
reason.
yeah.
With the belt, you got to put a belt on them.
That was
'Cause
grandpa's.
nowadays you realize like how much fajitas show when you wear those shorts, man.
Fajita.
You know.
I know nowadays your shorts are like all the way up
Yeah.
here for some reason. Like
I don't get that. Oh, like the Z Cavarici shorts back in the day.
I
Remember
never
the
had Z
Z Cavaricis?
Cavarici shorts. I wasn't bougie like
I
that.
wasn't bougie either, but I remember I had a senior picture of me and Renee. They had pictures at school, and you can take like best friend pictures. And I have these black Z Cavarici shorts with of course, like a paisley
And
top.
then and the girls when they frailed at the bottom, they're like still wide as shit.
Yeah, they
like-
were kind of wide, which is weird. I don't know, but
It was aerodynamics.
hey, maybe. Well,
Made you faster.
wait a minute.
Too fast.
Wait.
No.
Here is a theory: were they supposed to be wide at the bottom, or did I get them at solo serve?
Mm.
Because so we
Well,
know what
solo
solo
serve would have
serve.
been one would have been higher
What?
than the other. Like
One
that.
would have been higher than the other, Chueco.
You're like, I got a short sleeve on this one, but long
And it
sleeve on
wasn't,
this
and it was
side.
Z Cavarici. That was zucchini. It just they
Zucchini.
just spread it out to make it look better for
It was
you.
B Cavaricci's.
It was in cursive. You couldn't tell the difference. What is
No,
that
you
saying?
couldn't
That
tell.
says zucchini.
And so tell me about your hairstyles in high school, because I was talking to my daughter and she was like, another friend of mine couldn't understand how we were getting our hair like to stand straight up with Aquanet and
Oh,
stuff.
come on, man.
And so I was trying to explain to her, the feathering thing, and then you would have the big barrel curling iron and then spray the Aquanet right on that curling iron with your hair. And then it was a very intricate thing because you couldn't get your hair where it would start flaking white. So you had to be very careful.
That's how strong it was.
That's how
Yeah.
strong it was. But you used to wear mousse and stuff, right?
Yeah.
You were a pretty boy in high school.
Okay, even without the mousse, it was just. I woke up, I couldn't help it. It's it.
But he was a pretty boy only in high school? Is that what you're saying? He said
it
when you
lasted
were in
deep
high
into my
school.
40s, I'm thinking. And like right now, I'm losing it because I'm gaining it.
No,
But it's still this is still pretty good to look at.
Look,
Like if you right here, like
you
if
throw a cap on and your hair
yeah,
is.
but then once you get past the arms right here, like you can see right there, like it still look like I work out. No, these
I
just
work out.
that's just nice shadowing.
I work out.
It's like
He
that's
wants
not
shadowing.
that's not a shadow. I put that on with.
He wants arm contouring.
That's what I do. I contour with
Contouring
Lily.
with the
I get
arm.
Lily's makeup. I'm like, let me
Put a
look
line
like
right
that.
there. Like,
You want to see? You want to see the 6-pack I drew myself?
it says K, 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 K.
What?
I'm talking about James.
I was like, what? I was like, who? And your hair? Did you have like gel and stuff? Did you go to high school with? Did you fix your
I
hair?
didn't even put anything in my hair.
Nothing. You went all
No, they were just
natural.
natural. You have to comb it
James always looked like an insurance salesman. Growing
That was
up.
it?
His hair was always.
to the side. That was it.
You did. You had the straight,
You
straight.
looked like you worked in an office
Yeah.
since the 8th grade.
Yeah, you did. You
Yes,
were
I
the
did.
more. You were the more conservative of the
Yes.
three, right?
Yeah, I wasn't into all that gibberish, and
Didn't-
I was
didn't-
behind.
Didn't Jerry?
I was
he's not
behind.
letting that go. Didn't who put streaks in their hair like blonde streaks?
John Boy.
Did
Had to
John
be
and Jerry?
John.
John
Did Jerry
Boy.
do it too? I thought
I
Jerry
don't know.
went
I don't think
blonde for a
Jerry
while.
did it.
I
I
don't
don't
think.
know. I don't think me and my brothers never did.
No.
John would do shit like
John
that.
Boy. I think
John was
John-
always experimenting with everything.
Yeah.
That sounds.
That's why he wasn't allowed to go to college.
allowed. To...
And then Jerry had the bass, the little truck with the bass, the huge. Like,
That was the
Him
Datsun,
and
right? the
Bob.
green.
yeah. Him and Bob would always do the bass stuff. That was pretty
The
cool.
bass stuff.
The bass stuff. Oh my god, I sound like a.
Yeah, they were all into
Mom.
that. Well, Robert got Jerry into.
Because it was a little Datsun truck, right? The green one.
Yep. Yep, that was my
Oh, yeah,
dad's, and he
that's
gave it to
right.
Jerry.
Yes. And I remember nobody could sit in the back seat because the freaking speakers were back there. That's all it was room for. But yeah, so anyway, so real quick, I wanted to touch on the beepers. Do you all remember the beepers? We went through that. How long was that beeper phase?
Wasn't that long because cell phones came right after that.
Right, it
Had
wasn't
to be a
that
good
long.
5 years, maybe the
Right?
most.
Well, it was more than that. I think that by the time we could afford them, it was already fading because it was like
Yep,
mid.
you're right.
Yeah.
It was like
You're 100%
mid
right.
'90s,
Yeah.
and then by 2000, phones were out.
Yeah, because I remember, because then you got really good at the beepers and doing codes like the, what is it? I love you is the 143, and then the go to hell is like 1134. You never did those
I
codes?
never did that. I did.
Oh
I did
my
the.
God.
I knew all the codes.
I
I was
knew
pretty good at the
911 and
codes.
69.
69.
I'll let you guess
So
what
who
that meant.
would you text that to?
I
Or who
wouldn't
would
get.
you
I would
beeper
get it.
to?
Like, I guess.
Oh, you would get it.
Guess what I'm doing after work, y'all.
Rose wrong number.
He was a gentle lover.
It's not what I was expecting, but
You're like, hey,
Yeah, I got it.
I didn't get to go to college, so here I am.
gotta experiment somewhere.
Oh my god. So the beepers, and then so also
But did you have to have a beeper, or did you have a beeper or pager?
I ended up getting one because of work. Because I was working. Where was I working at the time? Because it was. I think it was with Southwestern Wireless. No, it wasn't. I don't remember why. But no, I ended up getting one for somewhere for work, and usually it was not used for
It
work.
was for work. After, he had to
Yeah,
Because
work
cell
it.
phones were out at the same time, though. Still, I think.
Well,
yeah.
they come right after, or like after, shortly after. It was
It
the
was like
biggest.
very
Because remember,
shortly after.
beepers were around like early '90s. I want to say.
Yeah,
I
early
mean,
90s.
because remember, doctors used to watch me like an ER.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
And then if you had a pager or beeper, like you were a drug dealer, because you had to go.
Well, I had a, my work gave me a pager, and they also gave me free AT&T cell service, oh, Sprint cell service. So I have no idea why I had a pager and a cell
Because
phone.
you had to be up on the technology.
Yeah, it was like, oh, I got a page. Let me just pick up my phone and call.
It gained popularity in the '80s and '90s. So in the '80s as
Oh,
well.
the
Yeah.
late. So by the time,
But the
because
80s cell phone were the car ones, like
the
those.
bricks,
Yeah.
Those are the phones. Yeah.
the bricks, yes, those. And it's funny because also, so the pager and then the film, in this
35.
35 millimeter film, now our phones handle both of those functions. Back in our day, it was a 35 millimeter camera. You would take pictures, and you would have to load your camera with this film canister, this film, and when you wanted to get it developed, you had to drop it off somewhere.
At the Kodak, the little booth, little
Kodak
yellow
booth
booth.
or the
But you
grocery
also
store.
couldn't take that film out early because then you ruined the whole film.
Yes, you would ruin. So you'd have to
Zip it,
also,
zip it, zip it to the
yeah, you would have to advance it or
Well,
whatever
you could do it in a dark room in a pinch if you had to. That would
if you
the
had a
light.
dark room. I
Well, no,
mean,
no, just a room that was dark.
oh, a dark room.
Yeah.
Oh,
I never
any dark.
tried that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I never tried it
Because
either.
Rico and Renee used to do that
Oh, they
sometimes.
used to do that?
Yeah.
But you could have done
Just
it with,
in case it got like jammed up or something, they could open it and just.
Oh,
you could
so
have done
long
it
as
in
it
Tia
was-
Mary's living room.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That was a
but
different kind of dark.
and can you imagine like the culture now of taking like nudes or sending dick pics with a 35 millimeter camera, dropping it off at the place to get it developed,
And then mailing the
and
dick
then
pic.
mailing the dick pic to whoever
These
you
are
wanted.
strictly for educational purposes,
So
sir.
you have the people who are developing the pictures, like, okay, like, can you imagine
make an extra
how
copy
many,
for me.
yeah,
Was that like that slap into a Slim Jim? Did you see the commercial? So how was it before? How are you people dealing with life after cellular phones? It's like it's not so bad. Just gotta wait for your mom's nude photos to come in the mail or something like that. Like man, how is this dude like? How's this Mormon freaking roasting me out here with a
it's
horse?
you have tons of pictures like now, and then you get double copies, then the negatives. You got to keep the negatives in case you want to get more copies. Like now, the pager function and then the 35 millimeter camera function now are on these phones that produce better quality pictures than some of the 35 millimeter cameras
But
ever
what you
had.
said, the pictures looked better. But when you had the 35 millimeter, and when you go develop the pictures, you could just like get rid of like 3/4 of the pictures and say, I only want to keep these 6 because the other 18 didn't come out
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And then how many of those disposable cameras haven't you developed?
Yeah, because like
That-
we
that-
we,
we
got
still found
we
them in
still
the
got a
drawers.
bunch of them at the house. That's
See?
like,
See?
but it probably costs like way more to get them done.
Now it probably does because it's a specialty like little thing. You have to send it off and postage, and then who knows? But yeah, that was pretty funny. I mean, and I always thought about the people who are developing the pictures. They're like judging, making comments, and
Oh, absolutely, I would have. Yes.
yeah, print an extra copy for yourself. Have a whole other like, because people
Oh,
were
even
taking
just
very.
and just because especially like everything was so like close together too back then. Because if you lived in a neighborhood where you had one of those, you knew you were in the neighborhood.
Oh my God, you're
So
absolutely
you're like
right.
oh, I'm at Randall's. That's that guy.
That's that guy.
Remember that guy I told you?
Oh my God.
Yes.
That's
I don't know
true.
how he got it up there, but he got the picture.
Oh my God. I don't know how he got it up there, but he's got pictures. I do too. I'll show you afterwards.
I do too.
And now though, but you still like now we actually develop some of the pictures that we take.
We get them
Their cell phone.
printed.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I see.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm behind.
oh, yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
behind. We get them
That's
printed.
right.
Because we
Yeah.
get them printed, yeah, because
But
they're
not many places have the printing. Like we do it to, I think Dora does it for CVS. So she puts in an order. So she gets her 4x6 and 5x7s, but then she has to pick up her 8x10 at a different CVS because this one can't do
Oh, they don't have-
They have the
8x10s.
big enough printer or whatever.
Walgreens. I've had really good luck with Walgreens. They can develop and even had the photos printed on canvas and stuff like that. But yeah, so it's it's much user friendly now and easier to get your photos in an instant. They even have those little small printers that you can print like 4x6s now easily. They're Bluetooth, but yeah, like it's a lot more. Is there anything else that we used to use in the past, like pagers and 35 millimeter cameras that our phone does for us now? Oh, date books. Remember we talked about the big date books? Those
Well,
The
Walkmans and
planners.
everything like that. I mean, yeah.
Walkmans. There you go. Walkmans, MP3 players, Discmans, cassette players.
Yeah, I thought it was the shit with the BlackBerry.
Oh, okay.
I
That
love.
was
First of
like
all,
for a year,
first
then
of
it
all,
went
don't
out.
disrespect the
I
BlackBerry.
love the
The BlackBerry was a beautiful little machine.
I wish it was still. I love the buttons. I want to
First
touch
song
them.
you downloaded on your BlackBerry. Do you remember it?
Oh my god, I had a Zune.
I had a Zoom too.
Microsoft Zune.
I know. I thought it was a shit because I'm like, oh, I've got the most advanced shit.
And I had pictures on it
That
too.
went down.
Yeah,
That was out as fast as it went in. The
First
Zoom.
song that I put on mine was 38 Special.
Hold on loosely.
Hold on loosely.
There you go.
And why was it the first one? Because alphabetically, the numbers come up first.
Oh, the numbers.
So then I downloaded in alphabetical order. Just yeah.
I want to say the first thing that I downloaded on my Zune, it was probably New Order and Depeche Mode and Yaz.
Yes, upstairs at Eric's.
Thank you. Upstairs at Eric's. We were just talking about that whole album. Upstairs at Eric's. That was my shit back in the day. Yes.
And then let's go back to the hair thing too. Like me, I remember my hair. I did the whole freaking the layer. Let's see if I can do it.
Comb over.
Where it used to be like this
yes,
for a while.
You
Oh
did
my
do
God.
that. Yes.
What is that?
Just
South
for a
Park?
little bit.
Yes.
Yeah, and I kicking rocks while I dance. Yeah, baby.
That was Bel Air. What was
That was in 87, 88. I remember because me and Gerald used to drive in, getting the 88 Corsica with the new AC Delco Bose speaker. Not the Bose, but AC Delco. Yeah, because it was like for like an old 4-door Corsica. It had a nice little system, so we thought we were cool. Boom, 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 boom. We're like, man, we are like the shit. We didn't realize we weren't.
I have a distinct memory when I went. It was my freshman year at Bel Air. You were you were sophomore.
I have to be.
Yeah, you were a sophomore. But I went to senior prom with George and Eric and Connie, and I remember looking down the table, and you're by yourself and you're eating, and you had that little hair flip thing going, and you're just like this, and you're just eating like I get with them like. You were the shit back then. All the girls loved you. You could do no wrong. You were like Mr. Popular back then. It was hilarious. I love that because that was a memory I had. And I forget what color your bow tie was. Who'd you go to prom that year with?
Can we
Was
say it
it
out
Bel
loud?
Air?
Yeah.
Sandra, I think.
Bullock?
Sandra Smith, I
Oh,
believe.
okay.
I think.
Yeah.
Because I went a couple of times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Went to prom a couple times.
But that was funny. Oh my
But yeah,
God.
my sophomore, I think I went with Sandra, if I'm correct. I don't remember.
So my hair, I remember back then. So Aquanet was everything. You had to have Aquanet. So I had bangs. So I had little bangs, and then I had some hair. I guess the
See,
rest
I don't
of my
remember yours
bangs.
ever getting like big though.
No, but I had them.
Yeah,
They were
yeah.
standing up, right?
Yeah.
They were like standing up, and then I don't know if I had a perm or something. I think I had a perm. My hair was curly, I think, at some point. I don't remember, but I remember going to because we grew up in church. I played CYO, softball, youth group in church, and some of our high school people were in our youth group and dances at church. So I remember church a lot. I remember we had an overnight retreat. And I remember everybody was just concerned. Did you bring your hairspray? Did you bring your hairspray? Because your hair had to stay up. Yes, your hair had to stay up.
Because the Lord doesn't acknowledge you if your hearing did right.
I'm like, what?
You're like, dear Lord,
You're
don't
like,
even
did you bring
talk,
your Bible?
Don't even talk to me with that hair like
yeah,
that.
and again,
Jesus will smite
don't
you.
walk next to that candle because you will go up in flames. You will go
they
up
will
in
say
flames
it's
like the
a-
Holy Spirit.
They
You
will
want
say
to light
it's
a
the
candle to
devil's word.
Jesus? No.
Yes. Stephanie Bettis, remember Stephanie?
Yeah, they let your
Stephanie.
hair like. Did you at least put quarter in little there? Be lighting stuff up here.
Stephanie and Alexandra.
Stephanie and Alex. Now Alex and Steph did have some big ass hair.
They
yeah.
had the huge hair too. I remember.
Robin too. Remember Robin because her hair
Yes.
was real light, so it's like you
Yes.
really tell hers.
Yep. So yeah, it was a thing. Like, and again, it was a very fine line because you had to do it a certain way so it won't get white or flaky, and like it was a whole big thing. And the feathers.
I remember we did this the straight up kind of thing too, just like flat
Yep.
top and kind of like.
Yep. Oh my God. Yeah, that was like everybody's hair was stiff.
I was saying that it's like especially people our age, it's like and they want to like get convey the message to people like, hey, don't you wish there was a way that people could tell you that it's the good old days before you don't realize that it was the good old days?
Yeah.
Because like with us, like, man, those were the good. Those were like,
But it's hard.
and everybody, there's so many people that acknowledge like the 80s were like the best
Yes.
time. And the music was like, they don't even dance. Do they have school dances anymore?
Yeah, homecoming and
But did they
prom.
actually dance?
Yeah.
Oh, is
But
it a lot of like twerking?
The guys twerking? Because nowadays the
Hey,
guys will
first
be
of all,
twerking.
yeah, I'm just saying, don't be judging that, bro.
I'm judging.
Some of us
Said,
some
"I'm
of us can
judging."
let it bounce, baby. Don't be mad.
Well, okay, so that's like, but it's not like it was back in. Oh, I hate to say it, our day.
Yeah.
It's
Back in our day,
because it was like we had like my senior prom here in San Antonio. We had it at the what is the Shriners place off of 1604.
Oh, that's where I had mine. Yeah.
Yeah, the Shriner. I forget
Same
the
high school.
Yeah, so but it was big, elaborate, and like extravagant and over the top and just beautiful. Like, and you were, like you were formal wear. Not that these girls aren't in formal wear, but it's formal slash hoochie wear. I mean, be
Wait,
honest.
back in your day?
No, now versus
Oh,
today.
now. Oh,
But
You
let's
know?
face it, even back then it was.
Well,
you just can't.
Yeah, we
admit
just
it,
don't
you know,
remember
you
that.
just-
Like us guys remember it because we're
Well, I
like
guess.
we knew the ones that looked at like
or- but not like
Any minute now, Amy's
wasn't
titty's
the
gonna come out
norm.
80% more than it already is.
but it wasn't the norm though.
Yeah,
like
no,
it,
no.
it
I'm like,
is
look,
here.
she's gonna lean over, bend over.
she's she's
Throw her the
bending
pin
up.
again. Let her pick it up.
Who the hell are you?
All these pins are
Whose side
everywhere.
are you?
All these pins.
Everybody's like, why is James walking around with so many pins?
Pocket protector on
Oh
both
my
sides
God.
of it.
Oh, here we go with the
Passing
pocket
them out
protector.
like Oprah and Christmas time. You get a pin. You get a pin.
When I count to 3, you throw it. Right here we go.
Oh my God, whatever. No, but it's true. You don't know you're in the good old days until it's past because times will change, and you don't know. You know they're going to change, but I don't know. I guess that's what being more present now is, right?
But it's like, do y'all like guys like and girls like meet at a dance or do like they meet up like hey, I'm gonna be at the dance. I'll see you
People
there.
go stag, right, to dances.
Prom is like more you go with like friends and hang out.
So you go stag and yeah,
Because like me, like and stuff like that, especially like, usually you had to have a date kind of thing.
yeah.
But if you went stag, that's like the quinceañeras and weddings. That's where you're like, hey, what's up?
Oh God, okay, quinceañeras.
Or
yes.
the garage parties and stuff like that where you used to have to dance.
Yep. Oh my God. Yeah. These are all good times.
Oh man,
Good times.
it's
Quinceañeras
nice
were
to
good.
shine
Quinceañeras.
like a diamond. I used to shine.
Yeah.
It went
Hey,
the other
but-
way, and now I'm the lump of coal.
But you still have the hair.
The hair.
You still have that long,
yeah, but now
beautiful.
look at this word right over here.
It's a silver.
Yeah,
hair.
it's finally. I've been waiting for that a long time. I used to tell my brothers, man, all of y'all got it and I didn't. It's
Oh,
fine.
That's right. It's finally kicking in.
That's true.
Like mine's hasn't kicked in yet.
Me neither.
Mhm.
Like I'm all like nothing. Like I don't know what it is.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, this stuff's good to go up here.
You on the side, your hair is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, we're not talking about that.
Some of us.
You know, if you want to just for men, but nobody knows about that.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
age gracefully. Man.
I don't use it.
No, yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Clearly. Just kidding. No, but another fond memory I have is going to the drive-in. They have drive-ins now, but they're more niche and more like, oh, let's have a drive-in experience. Back then, it was like a normal thing to, on the weekends or something, to go to the drive-in and have those big metal things hanging off your window,
Those
the
were
speakers.
Yeah, that was a speaker.
I was like, yeah, those metal
That's a
things
big
are
metal
speakers.
thing. Like we're invaded
'Cause
by
they were-
robots. Like,
Excuse me.
Big.
Put,
They
I'm,
were
gonna,
big.
I'm gonna put it right
yeah,
here
but
if you don't mind.
they were like
They were
big.
big.
They were big metal.
Yes. And
They had to be metal because if you're gonna beat the crap out of them, you know.
oh my God.
Yeah,
yes.
I can't drive off with them.
They
That
did.
was-
That's what
Throw them on the
happened a
floor
lot.
and go.
Yes.
Because you'd like, go, I found a good spot, no speaker. You have to move up to another
Yeah,
one.
no speaker.
That is true.
Yes. That was, and we had one in Houston that was relatively close, but we would frequent all the time. I forget what it was called. I don't even know what it was called, but and you would see two movies, you would see double
features.
Double features, yeah. And I know that we would sneak food in and stuff like that. I don't think they were that strict back then, right, about food.
I don't think they were.
Yeah, like you would bring your own stuff in and stuff. It was really fun. I remember those were good
Because
times.
yeah, we'd get like, especially when we were younger, we'd get in the station wagon, and then we'd like all climb in the back, and mom would throw like a blanket over us. And
Yeah,
mom and
I was
dad
just gonna say
they'd
that.
go to the movies by themselves.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, 22 kids hopped up at the back of the freaking
I know,
station
because we're
wagon.
behind the seat, like you said, the blanket over us and stuff, like hiding in there so they won't charge the
So
extra
they
people.
don't charge the kid. Oh man, yep.
And that's why you see in those movies, the drive-ins, they open the trunk and kids are
All the
gonna
kids pop
come
out. Yeah, because they're charging per person. So
But do you remember your first drive-in movie that you saw?
I
I want
don't.
to say it was Star Wars.
I don't remember.
I know mine was a Jackie Chan movie.
Was it?
I went with grandpa, my mom, grandma, and grandpa, and of course my brothers. We all saw the Jackie Chan movie, and I think it was Super Cop or something like that, some cop movie or something.
I don't remember.
And I forget the other one. There might have been both Jackie Chan movies.
And I think one time that I went was View to a Kill. Was that James
Oh,
Bond
James
movie?
Bond?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I went to go see that one too. I remember.
Interesting. Have any of y'all been to the new one that opened just not new recently, but it's the past few years?
I'm an indoor movie watcher now.
Yeah, no.
No.
We can watch movies at our house.
Exactly. I ain't trying to mosquitoes.
We actually
bite
have a
me.
surround sound on our house.
$72 for popcorn. You can kiss my ass. I ain't trying to do all that.
So we're not.
But
doing,
it's buttered. Shut the fuck up with the butter.
So we're not doing the whole just to have an experience at the drive.
No.
Nah, I don't think I need
Pass.
that shit.
No.
Been there, done that, lived that.
We got a projector, but hey, this mic's in my way. Starting shit with me.
Yeah, that's right. Now
We
you
got
can
a
do your
projector
own
and we just
drive.
kick back,
Yeah,
you know?
and you have a
Do
pool.
the little cardboard. Oh, I know.
We
can-
have a swim up drive-in.
That's right. We gotta
okay.
do that.
Let's put that in the books.
Remember, but you can't pee in the pool.
Of course not.
No.
We'll get out.
Blue pills.
Where's the hose? So you sit there with the hose, spraying your hose.
My buddy was talking about. He's like, no, I got that chemical. I was like, well, that ain't a real thing. I go, but if that's the case, I'll take food coloring in my own self, and then when I start peeing in your pool, I'm gonna put some dye. You'll know. Yes, I am peeing right now. Ain't no mystery. You ain't got to try to fool me with your blue ink. And no,
With
I'm
your
gonna
blue
break a pen and right here, and you can see the ink, and they're like, yeah. Now you got to filter that out, fool. Try to fool with me.
Do you have a screen for your projector? Do you have a screen? Okay, all right.
They
cool.
have inflatable ones too.
And they're not that expensive too, from what I see.
Yeah.
'Cause we could do a
But I
drive
want to
in
get
at
a
the
better
pool.
projector because the one that I got is like for inside. You know, it's like you got to turn all the lights off and be like, I want to be able to be all.
When at work, we could check it out.
Oh. Okay.
It's an older
That
one.
does
though,
not sound official.
I was like, let's edit that out.
No, it's an old
Why
one.
does James have that big ass backpack today?
He's actually wheeling it on a dolly.
Wheeling it out
on
to
a
the
dolly. It's
car
one of those
on the
old
dolly.
ones.
I'm taking this to get repaired.
Hey, talking about old shit. Did y'all ever work did y'all do the AV stuff when you were in like elementary, middle school?
The cart.
Yeah, or like with the projector.
Oh.
Oh
What are
man,
you
like,
talking
for
about?
some reason I know how to work that thing. I don't remember how or
Oh,
why.
the wheel, the reel to reel.
Yeah,
Yes,
watch
yes,
it.
yes, yes.
I don't know how and why,
Yeah.
but somebody taught me how to use those. So they were like, Roland, can you fix
That-
it? Like, and I would set it up and then run it through there and blah blah. And I thought I was cool.
That is a
Useless,
lost- I
but
was
it was
just gonna
cool at the
say-
time. Like,
No, I could do that at the school because actually from Bill Gilbert had one, and I learned it from him.
Did you?
From that. And then my
Oh.
dad got some special movies, and
Special
somehow
movies.
everybody got into that.
Special
Everybody was a projector specialist.
yeah, certified.
There was a whole
Yeah, I
tub.
was-
Special
I think
movies.
y'all were there.
I was,
Like there
I
was,
was 8 years old. I went to school just for that.
Special movies.
yeah.
Gotcha.
nah.
It was a white man with a white tank top and coach's shorts that taught me how to use it. He sweat a lot.
Fix this for me, kid.
Oh my God.
I would shake your hand, but we might stick
Ew.
together.
He was very
Disgust.
appreciative. He did a lot of hugging on me.
Ew.
You're
my
doing a
God.
great job, young man.
That's disgusting.
No, it's not a flashlight.
Okay. It was fun going down memory lane and reliving all of our past childhood traumas / fun times. What is that?
I know. We're gonna get strike.
Oscar playoff music.
Oh,
on the-
shut up. Not like this. No, you have to do like this. My dad used to do. Land the plane
Oh, your dad
Oh,
used to-
land the plane.
to my mom.
You're circling. Land the plane. I used to love that.
Yes. Traumas, memories, good memories, all fun times. Thank you for my cousin Roland for coming. Roland
That's-
for coming today.
I'm surprised because you're just drinking sweet tea in that little cup there.
Yeah, I'm drinking sweet tea. And James, anything to add to end it?
Y'all did great.
Thank
I love these stories
you.
because I wasn't
Yeah.
part of this because I was excluded a lot.
Oh my God,
Well, we can
whatever.
talk about that in the next what.
Well, you're a San Antonio boy. What are you gonna do? You're behind.
Even if we try to bring it, you wouldn't have got it. Like, what are we doing?
Why is he here? Can
Why
we
is
cut
he-
him out?
Can you edit? Go ahead and edit all this.
Wait, but I do the edit.
I know.
I gotta edit myself out.
What happened here? I cut myself off.
I cut myself.
What?
Oh, we love our
We won't talk
cousin.
about it no more.
Okay.
All right. Well, till next time. Thank y'all for watching. Thanks, Roland, Sandra.
Bye.